What's up, you fucker? Guess what we are doing today? We are reading in the rain, and then I have to meditate. I'm choosing to meditate. And then I'm going to the gym, and I have a leg day. Without further ado, I'm going to try to get about 30 minutes. Alright? Let's get straight into it. Where have I been? Vibes. Code of the Samurai. A warrior considers it his foremost concern to keep death in mind at all times, every day and every night. As long as you keep death in mind at all times, you will fulfill the ways of loyalty, avoid myriad evils and calamities, be physically sound and healthy, and live a long life. What is more, your character will improve and your virtue will grow. Written 400 years ago in a guide for a young samurai. In Chapter 1, we discussed the trap of materialistic, transactional society and how it deceptively distances us from our true selves. In Chapter 2, we looked at the root cause of fear, which is self-centeredness, the myopic lens through which we view the world. Chapter 3 revealed the three great adversaries of our lives, the critic, the monkey mind, and the trickster. Chapter 4 presented the solution to self-centeredness, which is love, wisdom, and courage. Now we will see how a group of warriors lived by a code of these virtues and how it enabled them to be fearless. The paradox of the samurai. You must die anew every morning and every night. If you continuously preserve the state of death in everyday life, you will understand the essence of Bushido. In feudal Japan, samurai warriors ruled the land. They were legendary for their loyalty, self-discipline, and commitment to honor. The samurai lived by an unwritten code of ethics in Bushido, known as Bushido, which means way of the warrior. Their way was to place virtue and character above all else. The code, as with inner excellence, was based largely on three values: love, wisdom, and courage. In love, they served. In wisdom, they saw the impermanence of life. In courage, they put honor and integrity over material concerns and rewards. The framework for their training was to prepare each day to fight to the death. In order to be fearless in battle, the warrior had to be prepared to die. This isn't an easy picture to imagine in our comfort-driven Western culture. No, it is not. It's not easy to picture. While much of the world lives in poverty, we eat at fast food restaurants, and even if in a hurry, sit down to fine dining if we want to relax, and get anything and everything delivered to our homes. We're always looking to make our lives easier and be more comfortable. Entertainment is a multi-billion-dollar industry that capitalizes on our ever-increasing needs for comfort. The samurai, on the other hand, found pleasure in improvement, freedom, discipline, and connection to service others. While Western society's professional athletes may be known as much for cheating as they are for performing, the samurai has no need for money or status that cheating may bring. In the preparation to die each day, the samurai focused daily on what was most important, which was their spirit. The paradox of the samurai is that they learn to fight to the death by focusing on love of honor and service more than the self. The spirit of mastery, love over fear. Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself makes you fearless. In Chapter 4, we learned that self-mastery is the pursuit of personal growth. To learn how to live with love, wisdom, and courage and not let your ego be your master. It's surrendering. I'm trying to speak from my stomach. It's surrendering concern for yourself in order to see what's possible and who you can become when you let go of self-protection. Self-mastery is the quest of how to live true to yourself, seeking to walk with love rather than fear, having an expansive vision, and living in the present moment. To master yourself, like the samurai, is to let go of the fears and attachments that have mastered you, to surrender them to a power greater than your own. The most powerful there is love. Love is fully present and fearless. There is no fear in love. Perfect love drives out fear. Good and evil, and all things beautiful. Love is our greatest need. Rejection is our greatest fear. We spend our lives seeking love and avoiding rejection. Two primary forces in the world are love and fear. We're always living in some form of one or another. Either we're in self-protection mode, which is fear, or self-expression mode, which is love. Expressing our gifts. There's no one on earth who can bring to the world what you bring. You are the only one, created for glory, to be your true self, so you can express these gifts, but they are hidden and remain so in accordance with your willingness to face your fears and live empowered by love. You can make a lot of money, win trophies, and perhaps 1 million followers, but until you confront your ego and the fears that follow, you'll never bring to the world what you are capable of bringing. If we want to be fearless and live with freedom, the only lasting way is to have love being the driving energy in our lives. That is to live with greater energy and purpose than our own well-being. It seems backwards to give up your life in order to gain freedom, but that's the law of the universe in action. If you cling to your life, you'll lose it. Give it up and you'll gain it. It's kind of like law of detachment. You want something so bad that you put it on a pedestal, guess what? It's not going to come to you because you value it so much. It's so important, which means it's literally out of your reach from what you're saying. If you're detached from it, if you don't care, then you might just get it because there's no resistance to it. Again, it's not a moral thing. It's something that the greatest who ever lived have learned. Clinging to your life brings comparison and judgment and tension and separation. Giving up your life brings joy and peace and freedom and connection. To walk in love, not fear, is to live by faith, not sight. It's to live by what's deeply meaningful and timeless rather than what's superficial and temporary. There's no other way to live with fullness of life. The most important things, the most powerful things are unseen. G.O.D. Every other path may bring trinkets or trivial pleasures or monetary rewards, but they will never bring lasting peace, purpose, and power. The greatest lives ever lived had extraordinary belief. They believed in love. E. Stanley Jones, theologian and close friend of Gandhi, explained, "No person is free until he or she is free at the center. When we let go there, we are free indeed. When the self is renounced, then one stands utterly disillusioned. When the self is renounced, then one stands utterly disillusioned, apart, asking for nothing. If anything comes to us, it is sheer gain. Then life becomes one constant surprise." I like that. When Jones says disillusioned, I think he means free of illusions. Yeah, just seeing reality. By constant surprise, I believe he means constant gratitude at the beauties that never cease. I would agree. And I'm going to pause real quick. Alright, we back. We are back. This brings up some questions. What does it look like to have love being the driving force in all that I do? Let's say your sense of being is going to change. The way that you approach things are going to change. the way that you attack things are going to change from a state of love and focus, but obviously you're not going to get distracted by certain things. Things that do not fall within love, that may fall within your awareness, they fade because it's illusion. Well, it's watching a video with Jocko and Andrew Huberman, and he's explaining, like, you can't solve a problem from the point of the problem, which means two things. You have to detach, look at it from a different point of view, and then you're able to solve it, or you just realize it's not actually a problem. It might be a problem that's this big, but when your priorities are here, anything here, if you're able to recognize that it is here, it's like, okay, allow it to be. Allow it to be what it is. How can I train my heart to stay on the path in the midst of stress or crisis? How can I get back to the path of love when fear comes in? Oh, he does have some answers. So what does it look like to have love be the driving force in all that I do? It looks like resonance, where your main pursuit is to learn and grow and share your gifts, not accumulate trophies, awards, or success. Those are always the byproducts of inner excellence. How can I train my heart to stay on the path in the midst of stress or crisis? Fuel your heart every day with the words, ideas, and stories of those who have gone before you and lived in love. Then, when crisis hits, what's in your heart will come out. The strength of those mentors will be with you. How do I get back to the path of love when fear comes in? Keep in mind the inner excellence presuppositions and tools to reset yourself to get back on track. Perhaps the greatest thing that separated the samurai from the average person was their willingness and preparation to die as a sacrifice to others. The greatest thing you have is your mindset and single-minded devotion to the purpose for your life. Life is continually throwing challenges at us. To be creative and find solutions, we must have a clear mind, with no need to react, nor threats to defend against. We must have a clear mind with no need to react, nor threats to defend against. For example, if you're selling personal training to somebody and they have an objection that's bullshit, but they're not ready, it's like, does it really have anything to do with me? Might have been the way that I pitched it, the way I overcame previous objections, but to have a clear mind and not react nor defend against a threat, which I feel like it is. I need to get the sale, they're defending against the sale, and now I'm taking it back. There we go. The ideas come when we're fully present, able to see beauty, and not living in a constant state of reaction. Most of what we do in the quest for self-mastery comes down to the ability to surrender self-protection and self-concern for love, so we can be wholehearted, fully engaged, heart, mind, and body. It might help to compare self-mastery and ego to better understand the characteristics of each. A common comparison of mastery and ego. It's a whole chart, alright? One is mastery, one is ego. Selfless versus self-centered. A strong sense of self versus self-conscious. Grateful versus entitled. Unembarrassable versus easily embarrassed. Unoffendable versus easily offended. Unirritable versus easily irritated. Compassionate versus judgmental. I feel like I don't understand compassion as much. Always learning to always comparing. Win the battle within versus winning at all costs. So when it says win the battle within, I think it's just like making sure you're always doing your best in an event. Whether it's a game you know you're going to lose, die fighting. Finish strong. Mastery is process-oriented, ego, outcome-oriented. Your best shot, giving that 100% versus winning or losing. Mastery is willing to look foolish. The ego is afraid of humiliation. Mastery is fully present, and ego is living in the past or future. True to self, unaware of true self. Willing to sacrifice and seeks instant gratification. It's a big one. Able to suffer and be uncomfortable, and comfort seeking. That's like the same thing. Feeling of control. Okay. So mastery is a feeling of control, and ego is controlled by results. Interesting. Mastery is freedom and passion. Ego is fear and tension. Mastery is to embrace the opponent that you're with. Embrace the opponent that you are with. And ego is to hate or fear the opponent. Mastery is to be humble. Ego is to be arrogant. Mastery is to seek growth. Ego is to seek validation. Big difference between the two. Seeking growth versus seeking validation. Even when I think of, like, if I'm going on Instagram, right? And I'm looking for something to post. It almost always falls down to some sort of validation. Even if I build something that was supposed to be nice, or make a nice video, it's like the moment I post it, it's like, where is the validation? Who's validating it? Mastery is a broad vision. Ego is limited vision, I would say. Detached vision. Mastery sees beauty first. Ego sees flaws first. I think that's a good frame of thinking for coaching as well. When you want to coach somebody up, you want to compliment them on what they're already doing good. You want to start them off at a high level. If you just berate them with what's going wrong, it's not always the sweetest way to start off. Mastery walks by faith. Ego walks by sight. Mastery is centered. Ego is scattered. Mastery seeks wisdom. Ego seeks status. The mastery has very few needs, and the ego is very needy. And I would say mastery with the few needs, they are very protective of those needs. They have boundaries. Mastery has purpose beyond their goals, and the ego has no true purpose that is probably long-term or sustainable. Mastery has a limited imagination, and ego is only bounded by experience. I like that. The ego is only bounded by experience. Mastery is able to see the unknown or the potential, right? Mastery transcends circumstances, and the ego is attached to circumstances. Mastery is stable. Ego is unpredictable. Renew the mind. Your time is limited, so do not waste it living for somebody else's life. Have the courage to follow your heart and intuition, remembering that I will be dead soon is the most important tool that I've ever encountered to help me make big choices in life. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. Remembering that I'll be dead soon is the most important tool I've encountered to help me make the big choices in life. By Steve Jobs after he got diagnosed with cancer. It's hard to stay focused in the pursuit of mastery when your environment is affluenza infected and ego based. in opposition to mastery. Because of this, you must constantly renew your mind so that you can revisit your purpose and be prepared to sacrifice, even suffer, in order to develop awareness of your true self. You have to be willing to suffer in order to develop awareness of this true self. Each day the mind gets filled with needless clutter. And we need to clear out what's not you and reboot the system, which you will read about in chapter 6. Renewing the mind is continually going back to the truth with a capital T, who God is and who you are, as well as capturing your thoughts, keeping good ones, and dismissing the others. Rather than letting thoughts come and go mindlessly, we develop more awareness of them, intentionally focusing on empowering ones related to the truth and releasing negative ones or outright lies. Everybody can benefit from this. The samurai spent much time in meditation, knowing that the slimmest mistake in moral judgment or self-centeredness, which we take for granted today, would be fatal. If one samurai publicly disgraced another with harsh words, he might have been called upon to take his own life. If one samurai publicly disgraced another with harsh words, he might have been called upon to take his own life. Knowing this, the samurai had to keep their minds short, seeing beyond themselves, ready to sacrifice, because their code demanded constant and severe accountability. Renewing the mind starts with the awareness that human nature is self-centered. Human nature. I was just reading the Bible yesterday, right? Adam and Eve, everything stems from Adam, right? Bone was taken out, made Eve. Eve is the one that got deceived by the serpent. And they had kids, and somehow we're here, right? We're all just we're all just Adam, little bits of Adam. We're all just atoms of Adam. But that being said, we all have self-centeredness or sinful nature with us, right? So renewing the mind starts with the awareness that our nature is self-centered, and that every morning when we wake up, the ego wants to compare ourselves to others and wants to feel a little better. So this often leads to stress and frustration, since so much is out of our control. Here's a routine you can do before bed to renew your mind. I think I used to do this. Review your day. At the end of the day, go over your day from start to finish. Think about what went well and what you learned. Recall 3 beautiful moments. Find specific moments during the day that you can be grateful for. The smaller the better. Being grateful for your health is neither specific nor small. So the more specific, the better, the gratitude. Being grateful for the moment during your workout when you realized you weren't anxious is specific and small and beautiful. Number 3, reprogram the mistakes and let go of the day. See yourself changing anything that you didn't like about how you did act or performed, doing it exactly how you wish you would have done it. I like this. Chapter 9 will share specifics, then let go of the day. You might see yourself taking all the events of the day, thanking God for them, and tossing them into outer space. I like that. I do like that. Preview tomorrow. See yourself waking up and going through your day, executing your routines. This step ensures you remember the routines you will follow and tools you will use in the various situations next day. Damn, this is banger. I think I used to do this. See that, bro? Yeah, we've taken that with us. And number 5, visualize tomorrow. Step 5 is about getting the feelings. Picture yourself in some part of your day feeling exactly how you want to feel, doing your routines, using your tools, embracing every challenge with gratitude. This step primes your subconscious, giving it a kickstart for the energy and feeling you want to experience tomorrow. After you're done, you might want to write your thoughts in a journal. A lot of us has carried our worries and concerns to bed with us. This is a mistake. When we sleep, our subconscious minds process the day's events and consolidate our memories. If we haven't dealt with the day in a positive manner, our subconscious mind may embed the mistake or painful memory even more. This is one reason prayer before bed is so powerful. It's letting go of your attachments and letting God take over. I don't know if I understand that yet. It's like when you're praying, I guess it has to be from a state of trust and faith, where it's like, I pray that you do these things, and I'm letting go of it, knowing that you will help me. If you don't believe that you're praying, I guess it's like, what's the point? This is also why taking one day out of every 7 to completely recharge is so important. No work or errands done on that day. For me though, I get 2 days off. I gotta use these 2 days, bro. I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I'd be willing to do that. Then your subconscious can focus on creative possibilities rather than dwell on fearful outcomes. Fear and anxiety are 2 of the greatest roadblocks to creativity and possibility. Because fear separates and isolates, it divides our hearts, and makes it difficult for our subconscious minds to imagine possibilities. Fear separates and isolates, makes it difficult to imagine possibilities. When we deal with our mistakes and fears each night, however, then the powerful subconscious can creatively imagine unforeseen solutions. I'm going to cut it there, guys. I'm going to meditate, go to the gym. Nice little rainy vibe outside today. Yeah, man. If you see this archive, I hope you're in the pursuit of greatness. If you don't see this, then you don't see this, but I'll see you later, archive.